Welcome to the Bounty Zero X podcast. I'm your host, Angelo Adam, founder and CEO of Bounty Zero X. Bounty Zero X is a decentralized bounty hunting network powered by the BNTY token. Today is October 10th, 2018, and my guest on the show is Eugene Ivankov, head of PR for Credits. He's a PR professional with 7 years of international experience. And also joining us on the show today is Konstantinos Sotiropoulos, Deputy CTO of Credits. He is an influential IT management executive with 25 years of achievement in leveraging technology to drive organizational growth, performance, profitability, and expand intellectual property capital. Credits is a blockchain platform with its own cryptocurrency, Credits, CS. It's a new and unique technical implementation of blockchain technology, smart contracts, and data protocol. So nice to have you, and thank you for joining us today, gentlemen.
Oh, it's a pleasure. To make things easier, you can call myself Eugene and call Konstantinos Kostas.
Yeah, an abbreviation.
Yeah, so we might as well start with a brief introduction of what we actually are and what we're aiming to achieve as a project. So our main goal is we're trying to tackle the key challenges of blockchain industry, which in our opinion would lead to the broader mass adoption of the technology. So the key challenges are obviously scalability, security, and speed. Yeah. So yeah, and what happened recently? We've just made another step towards the finish of our development and showcased the first stage of our load test via the YouTube live stream. And this happened actually a couple of weeks ago, and Kostas and myself did actually take a very, very, very active part in that. So at this point, it would make more sense for me to pass the word to Kostas, who will give you more details about what we are from the technical standpoint and what we have achieved so far.
Yeah. Well, let me say that the game is on speed, okay, and how it could be affordable to use blockchain. So we have both these keys in mind as we are providing the software, I'll say there. In the current moment, we have already released the beta release, and as you remember very well from the last speed test, we have achieved 1 million transactions per second. Actually, in the last test, we tried to manage more, not only the speed and the capacity, but the stability, the stable of the platform. We have a lot of things that we have to provide till the end of this journey. I think they will never end this journey.
It's a never-ending journey.
Yeah. So in the current phase, we are optimizing our algorithm for consensus. We have a new approach. Let me explain that we are using two algorithms in order to pass the consensus for our blockchain. We are speaking about DPoS and Byzantine fault tolerance. Both of them, we have 9 steps, one whole round. And by the way, we are creating finality for each block, for each individual block. This is really very, let's say, different from the other approaches for other blockchains, in general speaking. So we are focusing a lot of our efforts focusing on securing our platform. We are using Blake 2S, this hash algorithm, and we are using also the ACDCA 25519 elliptical curve digital signature. Because of that, we are facing a lot of delay, especially when it concerns the validating of signatures. Can you imagine, guys, that we have vector with 1 million transactions and each transaction is about 120 bytes length. So 64 bytes is only the signature by itself. So in order to validate the signatures before the consensus start, the second round. So we need a lot of power and a very efficient system. Because of that, we are focusing right now to change this elliptical curve to another kind of signature We are researching along with a few experts in this field around the globe and also some laboratories. We are focusing on BLS and SNOR. It's another kind of promising digital signature. And we are trying to achieve very fast validation. There are a lot of ways to do that. It's the parallelized validation of many nodes, or we can use the hardware, let's say, validation. But we are considering to do that in software validation instead. We have optimized already our transport protocol as well. We are not using any VPN to join to the network. It's a cross-platform software, so you can run in Mac, on Linux repos, in Windows as well. We are using very efficient UDP protocol. We have a little bit changed it. Over this protocol, we are running the Boost Azure library. We are supporting IPv6 and IPv4 addresses as well. Even, for example, if you running a node into your local VLAN and this is behind some NAT space, there is not any problem. You can as well join to our network. And of course, we are formalizing, let's say, forming as well, the synchronization between nodes. In order to succeed and have very fast as possible synchronization between nodes and local databases, we passed from Level DB database to Berkeley. We assume that, no, actually we're not assuming, we are sure that Berkeley is working faster in the database layer. What else about our platform? At the current moment, one team is dedicated to smart contracts. The smart contracts component is running in isolated Java virtual machine, so any developer in the near future will be able to deploy any smart contract, any complex scenario of smart contract, which could be the same as the business logic of the company or the developer wants to deploy into our platform just by writing simple, pure Java code, nothing more. Also, in this release, supposed to be another one at the 12th of October in 10 days from now. In this release, we will change the compression on the database layer. So all the data supposed to pass not from Snappy library, but from LZ4. It's a little bit faster. Give us some time. Yeah. What else? I don't know. It's a huge platform, a lot of components.
Yeah, probably, Kostas, if you could give a brief overview on the load test that we've done and what we have exactly showcased and how it was also done. That would make sense.
I can remind, if somebody didn't catch this stream, I can remind them that we used five hosting providers around the globe, from Australia, from Latvia, from Canada, from Germany, from Poland. Yeah. We have run in the very beginning 26, 27 nodes, if I remember right. And after that, we start another 5 nodes. These nodes are the same peer nodes, exactly the same as the others, with one small difference. We have inside the node, we are running a simulation program as a generator of transactions. This program, this software, generating transactions with specific step. Let me remind that it was 5 nodes with a generating mechanism with a starting point of 1,000 transactions per node and an increasing value of 11 transactions per round, per consensus round. It means, in other words, per 200 milliseconds. And based on these calculations, we can understand as well that we started a blockchain with the 5,000 transactions per 200 milliseconds, or 25 transactions per second. In this particular test, we have limited the second semi-round of our consensus algorithm. That's why, because I mentioned already about the byte signals. That was the problem, in quotes always, because it's not a problem, but it's a reality for us. And we have to pass to find the solution. The current release that we run we use the length of transaction about 120 bytes as well. And also I have to explain that in this test, we already use a new kind of caching data on the memory. Therefore, I have told them to our audience that the minimal technical hardware requirements. So in order to run a node and participate in the consensus, it's already 60 bytes. VPN, as I said, it was absolutely abolished VPN, and we have introduced the routing nodes. The routing nodes system, it's an efficient protocol, transport protocol, which allows us to connect properly to our network any node behind NAT, no matter if it runs on IPv4 or IPv6, as I already told to you earlier. What else about the speed test? It was successful, similar to reality, and probably in the next speed test we'll have the possibility to join third-party nodes and people from our community and testers in order to participate as well with testers. Why not? We are on forward.
Yeah, so this is kind of the, I wouldn't exactly call it brief, but the technical summary of what we have recently been up to indeed. Yeah, and the current, the biggest milestone so far. We have indeed simulated the real life environment and showcased over 1,300,000 transactions per second during the peak, and we have been showcasing a stable load of 130,000 transactions.
Right.
And the next step would be the second stage, which is going to be, so what we're planning to do is we're planning to increase the transparency of the second test as much as possible, and we're going to be inviting the external experts, both technical experts and also the bloggers and some of the testers from our community to join and to run the test with us simultaneously. And we're aiming to make it happen in a manner so that they'll be available live on YouTube as well.
And is there a number of nodes, a maximum number of nodes that you're planning to allow to join in the next speed test?
No, actually, we are assuming that the minimum is supposed to be over 35, 40 in order to succeed the best scenario for our consensus round. The maximum is supposed to be, without limits. As much as possible.
So the smart contract language you're using is Java.
It's pure Java.
So maybe talk a little bit why you decided to use Java as the language, as the smart contract language.
Because let's say it has a huge community of developers. It has the minimum learning path curve. It's very understandable in programming terms, and it's very efficient language in order to create any class or any object that's possible to use as it needs. By the way, we are providing the environment inside our desktop wallet, which looks like an IDE for Java development. We're providing super classes, and every developer can extend these classes according to his needs. I suppose not only me, I think a lot of people out there were supposing that using Java it's much faster way to create contracts and deploy them. It's very affordable in this way.
And what about the security aspects of using Java as the smart contract?
Actually, it's an isolated virtual machine which is running besides the other components. We will come to this a little bit later when we will be ready to deploy smart contracts in test mode, and we will give a lot of information. Let me explain that even our this Java machine, which is running our contracts, it's also communicating with the REST components via internal API. So we're using our API also as well for internal use, not only for external use. And we're speaking about Thrift, which is an RPC actually procedure.
So is there a date set for the ability to upload the smart contracts and have applications running on the blockchain?
Yeah, we will provide actually a lot of examples on time. But in this environment, you have the ability to write the code or to copy-paste the code from another contract. We are providing an executor, a self-executor, so you can create a schedule when the smart contract is supposed to run and how. You can interact this smart contract with the outside world as well. You can check the syntax of your code, and you can deploy it and run it as well. It's like a complete IDE environment. It's supposed to be something like Eclipse or another one. So I think for smart contracts, it will be necessary to have a full, let's say, education program about it. Actually, a lot of very special material about our blockchain and smart contracts people can find in our developers portal as well. But I'm sure that we will devote a lot of time to explain how it's working.
To actually educating
developers community. Yeah, I think it's really neat.
Yeah, so growing your community is a component of your guys' roadmap and partnering with a number of other projects. So I noticed you guys have quite a few partners, some high-profile names like IBM. Maybe talk a little bit about some of the companies you partnered with and how that fits into your roadmap.
I can say about IBM because I was participating actually in our negotiations. We are trying to find a mutual beneficial solution about a cross-blockchain. You know as well that they already published the Hyperledger factory, and we're trying to find a solution for their clients so they can use their Hyperledger as a private blockchain. But when they need to have a public transferring and public transactions, they can then relay these transactions to our blockchain. So we're working on this in parallel.
Yeah, in addition to that, we have a history of sort of collaborating. I wouldn't exactly put this collaborating, but one of our key advisors is the head of Blockchain Lab, Nihingo, and we're very thankful for the fact that he actually spends quite a significant amount of time helping Kostas and his team and reviewing things and giving his valuable advices. Among the other recent partnerships, the key one, I would probably also highlight Lenovo New Technologies, which is a subsidiary of Lenovo Group, a subsidiary dedicated to Internet of Things and augmented reality. Yeah, so at the moment, obviously, we're working on the ways to further develop the use cases that we're planning to implement. And the other nice one is certainly Leeway Hertz. Leeway Hertz is an integrator that helps with blockchain solutions, among others. Leeway Hertz has quite a long history of collaborating with some of the major companies. They have a massive list of clients out there, including some very, very big companies, the Hershey's, Budweiser, NASCAR, even the U.S. Army. And they're basically going to be using our blockchain, among others, as a technical solutions for the dApps that they're going to be developing.
About the AGM, let me add that we are exchanging to each other knowledge. Especially, we are getting help, assist, very valuable from their side about the cryptography as well. We are working directly with their laboratories.
Yeah, our platform supports posting bounties for tokens that are running on multiple blockchains. So we support Neo and Stellar and EOS. And when you guys have launched and you're ready to start running some dApps, we'd love to add support for the credits blockchain. And I noticed you guys have a team of quite a few, talented people who are working on this. And why don't you tell me a little bit about how the team came together and when I know you guys had your ICO in February. So maybe tell me a little bit about how the team came together and how the idea for the company was started.
Yeah, well, it's unfortunately neither myself nor Costas would be in the best position to give some significant details about that, because none of us have actually been part of the company since the very beginning. What unites us as a team over here, and we actually have a few offices, so all the devs are based here in Moscow, and we have also recently opened a new office in London, which is mainly dedicated to business development, because in London we appear to be a little bit closer to our client than over here in Moscow. But I mean, what unites us as a team, and there are about, I think, it's the passion and the idea of
creating a decentralized world. We love this idea.
Yeah, and kind of what unites, speaking about Costas and myself, people who work in pretty much in completely different fields, yet collaborate together with passion, is the fact that we both believe that blockchain is here to significantly disrupt some of the major industries, and we're doing our best to contribute to that by trying to solve some of the major issues within challenges within blockchain itself and within the industries we're collaborating with. As for the team, I think at the moment it's about 80 of us, with the majority of the staff being devs.
Yes, actually all the developers, the most of them are located here in Moscow, as we said before, but we have a lot of colleges that are working remotely from other cities, not only from Russia, and from abroad as well. This is it's pain somehow, but in the centralized world, we have to get used to this idea that people working as a peers alongside from every corner of this world, of this planet. So we are speaking about dedicate people to our stack. Our stack is C++ as well, Java and C# and some JavaScript, etc. So we are not rotating our developers. They are devoted and dedicated to specific components, and that give them and us the value that these people becoming day by day more and more expert in this field. We have very often brainstorms. We're trying to making more than one or two approaches for each problem all the time. We're facing really very strange problems, and for the very first time in our lives sometimes. But that's great, actually. That's great, because we are feeling, how to say in real life, we're feeling perfect when we're getting to a solution, and we understand that it's our child, so we're doing this thing.
Yeah.
Okay. If you guys have new announcements and new partnerships that you guys are ready to announce in the future, like for example the next test that you guys are running or the next release in October, just let us know, and we'd be happy to have you again on the podcast to talk about the progress you guys are making.
Yeah, sure, we would be absolutely delighted.
Okay, my guests on the show today has been Eugene and Kostas of Credits Blockchain. It was a pleasure having them, and look forward to speaking to them again soon. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much for your time, Angel.
Thank you, Angel.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Bounty Zero X podcast. Please remember to subscribe to our podcast below. Check out bountyzerox.io, the #1 bounty hunting platform where you can complete work and earn cryptocurrency. Please consult your professional financial investment and tax advisors before making any investment in initial coin offerings. Bounty Zero X does not provide investment or financial advice and does not endorse or recommend investment in any ICOs advertised on the Bounty Zero X podcast or website.